Welcome back, everybody, to Shark Nation. This is episode 40. We're hitting a 10 mark. I like those. I like those. Jason, how's life, my man?
Living the dream, buddy. Good things going on this week, man. Got my son. He's going to Temple, so we got to go check him into his dorm tomorrow. So should be one of those moving days and an emotionally moving day too. So looking forward to that. Should be good.
Yeah, that's got to be a big experience. I am fearful of with my girls.
Dude, you don't realize how fast it goes. It's crazy. I remember telling my mom when me and my girlfriend, now wife at the time, were pregnant, and I was 25 years old and having that conversation with her, and I was just like, wow, yeah. And now he's going to college. Don't call, don't write. Just kidding, of course.
It goes quick.
Give back your mom's credit card.
And that's a good time to realize, to be like grateful for what's in front of you. I mean, like we life's gonna go, like, once you get into your rhythm, life's gonna go fast any way you look at it. You can't stop it. So I think, when you have those opportunities where you saw something that went fast like that, you need to look around and appreciate what is in front of us today. That gratitude. And it's something I've been actually personally doing a lot lately. Is trying to just, it's not that you think about it every 2 seconds, but it's just that you try to be mindful of it. And I think, I think that doing it in the morning is the key. If you can take the morning and take 10 minutes and just write down 3 things that you are grateful for, just that. I mean, it doesn't take 10 minutes, actually. It takes like one, like, really, because I thought that was a bunch of BS. Sunit was telling me to do it, and I thought that it was a bunch of BS, like the morning routine kind of stuff, because I don't want this 3-hour routine to get ready for the day, and it's not. But that little bit of mindfulness in the morning definitely carries throughout your day, and it does set you in the right thing. So, I think that might be, better start writing it down. Jason, what are you grateful for today, man?
3 things. We dig right into it. We the title of the show, by the numbers. So yeah, no, I definitely agree with you, having that attitude of gratitude. Tony Robbins always says you can't be stressed and something at the same time, and grateful at the same time. I'm losing my words today, but so anytime I kind of get that feeling of overwhelm or whatever, kind of take a step back. What am I grateful for? All this stuff that you're worried about is usually little picture stuff, right?
Well, I like that. I've been hearing, and we're gonna get to the path to, yeah. I mean, the episode here, we're gonna get to the point. But while we're on this topic, um, I think I don't know. I've been seeing it a lot of places in the last week or two. 85% of what you worry about doesn't actually happen. I don't know where they get that number, but I found that relatively to be true. All those fears, 85% of the things I'm worried about doesn't happen. I mean, everybody's probably scared to make their rent or their mortgage payment or something, but think about how many times that you did figure it out. And I'm sure there are some people that have not, but more times than not, you probably do figure it out. So stay in the, and I think I was watching a reel Bill Burr was on, and he was saying, you know, you'll be all right. Like, you'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. And then if you don't, then deal with it then. I like that.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm trying to rid myself of the worry habit in general. Just, like you said, what's the worst case that could possibly happen, right? You probably die, right? All right. Well, if you're dead, you're not going to care anyway. So if it's not death, then anything else could be solvable either through hard work or a lot of flowers and chocolates for the wife.
Yeah, that's a big one. And yeah, that getting rid of that worry is tough. And just taking consistent action. Well, that's a common thing right now. I mean, you got agents running around fearful about this lawsuit, and the new ways of handling it, and really most of them are just they aren't taking the action that's required to get to the 100K that they probably want. So this looks like a good thing to have a pity party about because they weren't doing the work they need to be doing anyway. So
Yeah. I
whatever.
think we could dive deep into it, but the purpose of this show is people don't have a lot of agents don't have a clear path and a clear goal to achieving their objective, right? So what we want to do is kind of just break it down for you. A lot of times as team leaders, we want to hear, the magic word is, how do I make 100K as an agent, right? What do I need to do specifically to hit 100K as my salary for the year after splits and all that kind of good stuff? How do I make 100K? So, our good friend of the show, Matt, told us, real estate is a numbers game. Everything else is just drama. So, we're going to dig down deep into the numbers and show you actionably. So then that way you can work your way backwards and see what you need to do on a day-to-day basis to hit your goal and hit your income goals.
That's it. So how are we diving in, you or me?
Go ahead, bring up the whiteboard.
You want me to draw and talk, or just draw?
Do both. I'll chime in. I am the Johnny. You're Johnny Carson, and I'm.
I see this plan.
Sidekick.
Anybody that's been watching the show consistently, the power is in the questions. Okay, if you're Jason, come on and you make Chad role play on one episode and he's not aware. If you're Jason, you come on and say, let's talk about numbers.
Yes.
So you do it.
And then I just chime in and make you our guinea pig. So
I like it.
Let's say, we'll use kind of generic numbers, right? So say your average commission is 10,000 for your main goal. You want to work top, bottom, up, down?
No, it's good. So, well, yeah, we're going to establish this fact first. There's splits and teams in the world, and I talked to Jason about this before. So there's just so many different ways that we could run this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to assume that there's a 10K commission, and we're going to take away 50% of it. Maybe you're on a team, maybe you have some splits, maybe your market's different. I don't know. We're going to say that your average, for the sake of this, is going to be 5K. So your average take away from a sale is 5K, is what we're assuming. So Jason, I'll let you do this one. If it's 5K, is your average in your pocket, and you want to make 100, how many sales go here to get there?
Oh, I know this. So 20 sales, Chad.
Doesn't sound that bad.
No.
So that's the equation right there. First of all, most people don't do. And second of all, most people stop at. So you know, obviously your market, your splits, your blah, 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 go do that or DM us and we'll help you with it. It's not rocket science, but you need to do that first. Okay. So you've established you need 20 sales. Okay. So Jason, where are you getting leads?
From my team lead.
Okay. What's your average conversion rate on those leads?
So if I did the math on that, let's say I'm at a 3% conversion rate.
Cool. So 20 sales. The leads have a 3% conversion rate. All right. So
that means out of 100 leads that come in, you're converting 3 out of 100, which is around the national average.
Cool. So if you don't know how to do this, you take your goal of 20 and you divide it by the conversion rate, which is a percentage. My writing is terrible, so just deal with it. Which
you got the fancy laptop, and I'm thinking like, hey, have you on the whiteboard because you got the pen?
Fancy $350 Chromebook.
That's
what I rock. And I actually have a video that's taken off on YouTube. There's like almost 5,000 views on it now. Go check it out on the SharkNation channel about how I use a Chromebook to run a 6-figure business. Anyway, so it's not that fancy, but yes, I did. This was like 10, $20 on Amazon. Anyway, maybe 20. I don't even know. All right, back to this. So 20 is the goal. We're
20
gonna
deals a year, right? So almost 2 a month, right?
right.
So if we take our handy dandy calculator and we do 20 divided by 0.03, so it's about 666 leads.
Oh, that's a
Let's
scary
let's
number.
do let's do 667. We don't want to
Okay.
we don't want to scare the agents off.
All right. So you need 667 leads throughout the year. See, this is really good because now watch this. What's 667 divided by 12?
667 divided by 12, we got about 55.58. Say
That's
56 a month.
56. 56 a month. And then what's 56 divided by, I'm assuming team leads can potentially be internet leads and they would come in daily. So 30 days in a month. So what's 56
You
divided
want
by
to
30?
do 30 or you want to take weekends off?
Nah, because lead generation would occur 7 days a week if these are team leads are generally
So
internet
divided
leads.
by
So
30,
Mhm.
1.86. So about 2 a day.
So 2 leads a day. So here's the thing right now, right here, any agent watching, if you're generating leads or you're buying leads, let's say through realtor.com or Zillow or whatever, and you're planning for a 3% conversion rate or you did this math this way, like, I have agents all the time. It's like, these leads suck from realtor, they're better here. And I'm like, well, how many did you get in the last 6 months? They're like 30. I'm like, well, at a 3% rate, it takes 33 to get one. You could be 3 leads away. And then on a small set of data, you're potentially setting yourself up for the exception to the rule. You find the rule on a big set of data. So, numbers don't lie, people do. Keep that in place. People can say leads suck. Well, okay, you're telling me on 20, 30 leads, what does it look like on 2 or 300? What does it look like on 1,000? What is it, that's where the rule starts to apply. Numbers
Yeah.
don't lie. So small numbers do lie.
And yeah,
Anyway,
and say for simple math, right? Say if we were reducing our work schedule, right? We're going to take weekends off or whatever. You get sick. The math slightly goes up to maybe working 3 to 4 a day. Okay, so nothing super crazy, right? The problem that a lot of times that we have as agents is that we think that we overwhelm ourselves, right? But getting to that conversion rate is where it's at. So it might take you, like you said, 3 out of 100. How quick could you get those 3? How much more would your business be affected and better if you had 3 appointments per week? Right? Get into that 100. If we break down 100, 3 out of 100, right? 5 days a week, doing 4 a day, right? So go ahead.
well, where were you going with the 4 a day? You're saying 4. So I think we're
Oh,
talking
I'm
about two
saying
different
setting an
things.
appointment a day.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a little different. So I mean, that's where you start to get into, from our perspective, this is what we're trying to generate per agent is 2 leads a day per agent, on that side of it. So on the
Yeah.
team leader hat, like that's our lead generation hat, that's where you're working it. When you're looking at as an agent, and you need 20 deals, you probably need, and this we didn't do prior to the show, so this is good. So we probably need to look at the um conversation to appointment set to appointment met to contract ratio. Um, you know, so all right, let's do that. So let's call 100 people. How many people are you talking to? How many
How
pick up
many
the phone?
people at a 3%? 3.
No, 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 no. We're nope, nope. Right now we just got 100 people. How many people? If you call 100 people right now in the database that you've generated leads to a day, blah 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 blah. How many will pick up the phone?
Uh, Not many. What is it like? The answer rate's like 10% or something like that.
10. Okay. I think that's pretty fair for my data too. Okay, so you call 100 people, 10 are going to answer. How many are you going to speak with for longer than 2 minutes?
So, what am I smoking the hopium or am I? Yeah, the 10 answer. Say you get one,
You think you're only going to speak with one?
1 or 2. I mean, for over 2 minutes.
I find three in mine.
3. Okay.
That's what we're seeing. So those are conversations because they're over 2 minutes. They're not. I don't like you. Leave me alone. Bye. Not they answered the
Yeah.
phone. These are hey. They go from who are you to how are you. I like that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Okay. So, how many of the 3 you talked to can you set an appointment with?
One.
I even maybe say less. I maybe even say a half.
A
Let's
half
go.
of one?
It's probably like 0.75. I know you don't have a half a person or half an
Yeah.
appointment, but I think there's a 50-50 chance if you talk to 3, so you can set an appointment. Okay. This is just judging from what I'm seeing right now live too. So all right. So now we've established, let's come over to how do we get one appointment? Well, we need 6 2-minute plus conversations, which would give us 20 answers, which would give us 2 dials. Okay, cool. So or 200 dials. Wow. Now, how many appointments? Well, here, let's
You
do the
have to, I
no-show
was gonna
rate.
say, do you want to go to the appointments? That too. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. But there's the no-show rate, just so you know, is 50%. It's what it is. You need to know it so you don't get upset. Okay, so 50% aren't going to show. So appointment. So this is appointment set, and this is appointment. Man, this is ugly, but I hope y'all are. I think you can figure it out. Everybody's figured my stuff out when I do this before. So now we're going to get a half of appointment met. This one's just no dice. So here's now we're seeing the work. Now everybody's seeing why this industry has a 90% failure rate. So here you go, 12 to set 2 to get 1. All right. And how many appointments for coffee for talking about your real estate strategy? How many appointments to get a sale, Jason?
How many appointments to get one sale out of it? Well, let's take a step back. Are you doing your consultation meeting and then going out and showing, or where are
Of
we at with
course.
the? Yeah. So I would say it's probably going to take 2 or 3.
2 or 3. That's fair. I'm going to go with 3. So 1 out of 3 convert. Okay. So now this column over here is what we need to get 1. So we need to multiply that by 3. 1200 dials. So it's going to be 120 answers. Dials. Answer. And then we have, for anybody watching the audio podcast later, I'm sorry, but watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, they're going to be. Yeah.
Convos. And appointment set. 2 times 3 is 6.
And then we
And
got.
your numbers can vary from this. What's
Yeah,
that?
like I said, we're just kind of doing averages here just to show people that, it's a long game, right?
There's the math. We never actually ran it this way. I like this. So 1,200 dials, get 120 answer. That would create 36 conversations. You have 6 appointments set, 3 met that show up, and then 1 should turn into a sale. So looking at this math, I would say this personally is doable in a week. Let me get out third convert. So I think this would be, well, actually, here, okay. Here, we only need 2 sales a month. Okay, cool. So we're gonna do this bi-weekly. I would do this weekly and get 4 sales a month. That's the kind of math I run in my life. But we're only making 100K here. We're
Well,
little
I
thinkers
would
today.
say, don't forget the 2 other people that you were supposed to meet with, or the 6, you know what I mean? That's all going to be stuff in the pipeline too.
No,
So,
this is the
right?
well, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah,
But
true,
yeah,
but
for sure.
okay. So if this is weekly, so let's say you're working 5 days a week. Oh crap! What's 1,200 divided by 5, Jason? I got it. 240. Okay. So, I'm sorry. No. Nope. We did bi-weekly. My bad.
Yeah.
Because we need 2 sales a month. This was leading to us 1, so we need 2 sales a month. So bi-weekly, you do that. Okay. So 1,200 divided by 10. So you need 120 dials a day. You're gonna get 12 answer. Is this right? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. 3 point.
Convo. I guess it's there. Yeah, I don't have to do that. Okay. So divided by 10. So 0.67, 0.3 met. There you go. Okay. So basically, if you make 120 dials a day and you're looking for 3 or 4 conversations per day, that will lead, this is biweekly, to 2 sales a month, basically, is where we're at. That's what we're saying. So basically, if you want 2 sales a month, you want to look for 3 to 4 2 minute plus conversations per day. You want to be dialing about 100 people per day. If you want to get 4 sales per month, you want to be dialing about 200 people per day and be having, 6 7 conversations per day.
Yeah, and
um,
I think the important thing to see on this is, a lot of times, you have people that get discouraged because they make 20 calls and, they don't get the answer rate or they get hung up on and all that kind of stuff. But like you said, you're only making 20. It's taking you 120 to get to that number.
this is one takeaway. Just go have 4 conversations that last over 2 minutes per day. And like, here's the thing: everybody complicates real estate. If it's with your sphere of influence, of course that's easier.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't call your mom and count it as a 2-minute conversation.
Well, no,
So,
what I'm saying is if you're calling your sphere of influence and you're talking about real estate for over 2 minutes, that's a lot easier than calling a lead that doesn't know your name. So that's why sphere of influence converts at a great, because they already know, like, and trust you, right? You just need to have the conversations about real estate. And if you do them at 4 a day, you're going to get the 2 a month that you need, which we
yeah,
did the math. 2 a month is what we need to
hit our
get
100K.
right.
Yep. So, a couple things for looking at and that was awesome. Great job on the whiteboard. The math and the scribble, not as easy writing on something that you're actively talking on, but good job on that. So a couple things that you could do to increase that 2-minute conversation, right? We hear scripts and tricks and all that kind of good stuff, right? There's some different frameworks that you want, but basically all you want to do is have a natural conversation with people. First time you talk to, like you said, for internet leads, a stranger on the internet that you're talking to for the first time ever, their guard is going to be super high, right? They're going to be defensive. Like you said, it goes, who are you to how are you, right? How do you get them to that how are you? Like you said, one of the things that we like to do is kind of just ask good questions, like Chad said, try to find out the motivation for even searching on the internet for to begin with, right? There had to be some kind of motive for them to actually click on a house, fill out a form, put all their information in there and hit go, right? If you didn't find out what that motivation is, you didn't ask enough right questions or build that relationship for them to tell you exactly what they were looking to do.
So I'm happy you brought this up because I literally had an agent that had experienced this in the past week. So the prior week, out of the 8 people that they connected with, 3 were a 2 minute plus conversation. The next week, we I'll tell you what we worked on, what we talked about, what I endlessly talk about, but what we talked about, and you probably heard it from me before if you've listened to me on this or been around me. But the next week, 6 out of 8. The reason is they went through the call. Oh, where are you looking? Okay, what's your price point? Okay, what beds, baths do you need? Blah blah blah. That stuff, right? Got the details. Sent it. The ones that were open to sharing that was 3 out of 8.
Yeah.
But the other 3 that they missed, they forgot this. What has you looking in that area? Is there any
Yep.
family that you're trying to move near?
Do you work near there?
My next one.
Yeah.
If you can get to the why, you can up your rate of conversation. I have watched it with agents time and time again, and I probably didn't even realize that was the number one reason why that I've had better conversion rates than others I've compared to in the past when I was slinging it like crazy. But so getting to the why, like, here's the structure. I mean, you have to play the dance for the first minute. If you make it past the first minute, then you've got to get to the why.
Yeah.
If you get to the why, you're going to hear the problem. You need to listen. That's the next challenge for people, is to listen without your agenda that you need to make money. You just need to find a problem you can solve. Once you hear the problem you can solve and you've listened for a long time, for 80% of the conversation, then you have an opportunity to say, well, why don't we talk about how I could solve that problem at coffee, at your house, when I go over the CMA, whatever.
No, 100%. Like you said, you touched on a good point, and I don't want to skim over it. I don't know if you still have the whiteboard up, but you mentioned you could close at a higher conversion rate than most, right? So let's talk a little bit about that, right? In our example, we used a 3% conversion rate, meaning we're closing 3 out of 100, right? What if you just increase that a little bit to 5%? How would you do that? One of the ways that would make it really easy to convert is to practice, right? You're not good at something yet because you haven't been bad at it long enough, right? So how do you practice? In our jobs, it's role play, right? Do you want to either practice on your client or do you want to practice with the team, right? Objection handling, all those kind of things. So you're like Neo in the Matrix, dodging objections left and right? And that's going to increase your conversion rate. So then if we bring back up those numbers, if we can, all your numbers are going to be reduced. You're not going to have as many conversations because you're going to be converting at a higher rate.
So to do that, though, I think you should sit in these numbers, though, because these numbers are where
for sure, yeah.
So you're looking, because I just told you about an agent. I had 3 out of 8 that answered. That was the 2 weeks ago, and then last week this was 6 out of 8 that answered here. So we'll take 6 out of 10. We'll stay there. So watch what happens when you do that. So what happens when you do that is you get to cut all these.
Oh, you're not showing the whiteboard if you're.
Oh, my bad.
This is what you bring me for.
Yes, it is.
This is why I'm co-host here.
Okay, so what I was saying was, we were at 3. Okay, and 3 out of 10 on the assumption here, and I had an agent that 3 out of 8, and then got to 6 out of 8, so that's 6 out of 10. So this is fine. So the cool part though is if you're getting 6 out of 10, you get to replace the work. Like here we all, people get in real estate to have freedom and control. Well, I think working less and getting the same result is the same language. So if you look at this, you get to replace these uglier numbers over here. You get to go like this, and then so it's going to take half of the effort. So 220 to do the same thing. So if you come back to where I said you'd have to dial 120 a day right here to get to get the one sale every 2 weeks, you'd actually have to dial 60 per day to get that same thing. So it's less work if you can increase your ability to create the conversation, which I had it, like I said. So now I know I had a lot of chicken scratch there, and I'm probably saying, but this was a real example from an agent. Week 1, 6 out of 8. Week 2. When you do that, they need 120 dials per day to get one sale in 2 weeks, or 2 sales a month. Let's say 2 sales a month, right? They need 60 dials per day to get it when they're this skilled. So, I mean, I think, I don't know what more motive I could, because when you start making phone calls or following up with leads or doing whatever, or doing open houses or doing whatever you're doing, I bet you've experienced that feeling where you're like, man, I hope they don't answer. Man, I hope nobody shows up today.
For sure. And like you said, practice makes perfect, right? There's a reason that, professional football teams don't just show up on Sunday and play. They practice all day, every day beforehand, get one day off, and then go after and practice to the game. If you want to just keep it simple, practice, role play just a couple times a week. Like you showed me your framework that you have for a quick 15-minute little role play, one objection at a time. You want to kind of talk a little bit about that and the structure of that, and how you keep it simple and to the point so people don't get burned out. And then, like you said, as you're getting more and more reps, as you hear this stuff on your calls, you're going to be much more Neo-like and be able to handle these objections.
Yeah, it's so I'm happy to talk. I love to talk about role play right now because of where I'm at with it. I have role played in the past and I hated every second of it. I thought it was stupid. I do believe in action over skills, so I was like, just go out there and go, like, go call the people. But there's kind of these little jitters that you need to get out, and you need room to experiment a little bit. But here's the problem: most role plays are too freaking long, and you devalue the process. So when I was exposed and reside, I was exposed to the way that they role play, or at least Mia coaching on the Rise training. I was like, I can do this. And what it is 15 minutes, no more. You get partnered up with one person. Everybody goes into a breakout room. So me and Jason, for example, we would go 15 minutes max, 6 to 7 minutes each, straight into character, no small talk. Just go set the situation, go.
Ring,
Okay.
ring, we're at it.
Do it 6 minutes, be done. 1 minute for feedback. Your response to the feedback you're given is thank you. That's it. No matter what it is. No, well, I said that because nope, it's thank you. On to the next person. 6 minutes, 1 minute feedback. Response is thank you. If you have a little extra time in the 15, chat for a second, and boom. And we do this now, and that's what we do. And then we do the breakouts, and then there's a timer set. We come back into the room whether you're done or not. You're done or not. You're coming back in. So it's a way to cut the BS, but also get a chance to try out some things and realize and then when you're partnered up with different people from time to time, you start to they pick up other things. Wow, that really worked whenever I was in the opposite. And you put yourself in the opposite position. One of the other things I've been doing is all the telemarketing calls I've been getting over the last week or two, I've been listening. And here's one of the biggest things I've realized is when they can keep me on for a minute, I start to lower my guard and give them more of what's going like
Yeah.
because I answered one last week and like uh, I have no money, I'm not buying your thing, like something like that.
Yeah.
Straight.
I never hang up on a good telemarketing call. I want to see what the pitch is, right?
Well, how
Sell me
many
it.
of them when you say you're out they just say okay thank you for your time and they just quit?
Yeah. One
Every
objection and
real
they're
estate
gone for
agent.
sure.
Every real estate agent, not everyone, but
Did
the
you ever
ones
see?
that sit with you.
I'm going off topic, but did you ever
Okay.
see Tommy Boy with Chris Farley when he's starting to learn how to sell the brake pads or whatever, and he's going out with David Spade, and he's like, "Hey, you want to buy these brake pads?" They're like, "Nope." He's like, "All right, see you later," and just go and it shows the clips. Nope. Okay, have a great day. Nope. And then the one guy says like maybe, and they both like look at each other and they're like, "Holy shit! Now what?" If you haven't seen that freaking movie and you haven't seen that scene, it is classic sales 101, but it's hilarious.
And so I mean here's the thing too, so we talk about these dials and this stuff and all that, and at times when I hear it like just that I'm like wow, like oh it's like crappy sales, like cheesy sales job, like that. You're missing how to do it the right way if you're thinking that, because I felt that when I heard that too. And here's what it is depending on where you got the lead, they've shown some level of interest at some point, right? If you truly call the human being on the other side and are actually trying to ask them questions to discover where they're at, you've got to meet them where they're at. If
Yeah.
you can do that and not come on the call with your freaking agenda, you will find the problems that you can solve. And then when you solve them, you will get paid. That is the game. The game is to connect with the human being and hear them,
Yeah.
hear where they're at, not shove, well, you should buy now because interest rates, yeah, they're higher, but there's less competition. No, no. What's their problem? Maybe their kids are graduating next year and they can't move until then. And you're going to sell them a house now?
Yeah.
Like you're going to list their house now? That's not going to happen.
Uh,
Call the human being and ask them freaking questions about where they're at.
that's so good. Like you said, if we just take 10 seconds to listen on the other end of that call, right? And put yourself in their shoes, right? At the end of the day, we're just here to help people. You know, people have a certain situation or problem that they need help solving. Be that help for whatever it is. Maybe you can't help them, but you could show them something else that they could do to solve their problem, right? All we're there is, to provide guidance and help them along the way, right? Arm in arm. But so much time we have sales breath and all this kind of stuff where you come across and you're just like spewing your agenda all over them. And it's like, dude, you didn't even hear 2 words that person said to you. You were just so busy talking that you caught none of that. Take a step back, take a deep breath, build that relationship, get that guard down, find out what they're actually looking to do, and then just try to help them. That's it. Keep it simple.
Yep, it's the duality of that. Is the problem is you need to make money to pay your bills. But what you don't realize is when you attack it like that, you're not going to pay your bills. And if you do, maybe you will for a short bit, but it'll be like that magic, diet that you tried that only works for 30 days. And then 6 months later, you put the weight back on. When you find, a true process and, you really become, if you form those habits that you need to have consistently to get that end result, and all of a sudden, and then that's the thing too, right? Like even if you go to the gym and you get the results, or you eat right and you get the results, you got to freaking maintain it. Like you got to remind. So Carrie caught me. Carrie, I was doing some recruiting, and I had a lot of coffee that day, and I was on the offense,
Well,
and I was
Celsius
attacking.
Stout?
Yeah,
Celsius
was,
chat's my favorite chat. Fucking hopped up.
those things are bad. They make your nails grow too, and your hair. Like
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe you could have your hair back.
Yeah. My son has them. Maybe that's why he's drinking a lot of them. Knows he's going down to look like pop.
But I went through the dialogue I had with one, and we've been working on this script thing, and she's like, "Well, Chadway, you missed a step. You forgot to ask them what they like about their current brokerage." I'm like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah.
Because if you ask them that question, then what is important to them. Like it's like, okay, what do you like about your current brokerage? And guess what? It's the same thing as what made you look at Tampa, or what made you look at this community, or what made you, like what made you look at homes. Like
Yeah.
it's what do you like about that area? It's the same question.
I just had a conversation, with somebody that might be looking to join the team. And anybody that is looking, our September boot camp is coming up for a couple weeks of training. If you're in the mood, you're in the market. No, just kidding. But the conversation was, what do you like currently about your current brokerage? And it was A, B, C, and D. And then I just repeat it back to him. So what I'm hearing is what's important to you is A, B, C, and D. Exactly, in that order, right? And then guard down, relationship building, not just some random recruiter on the internet looking to, steal you to the team.
Well, because here's the thing, if you're helping a seller, right? What do you have? Your marketing. Okay. Well, there's photos involved. There's your lead generation strategy. There's your mentality on a listing description, or the front photo might be a different strategy, or how you do your blast to what do you call it? To other agents, reverse prospecting and stuff like that, right? There's all this stuff about marketing. But if you had asked the questions to the human being on the other side, what if the most important thing was communication? And you never talked about how you have a weekly review set.
Communication guarantee. What time are we going to talk every week? Yep.
This is the way, and I'm so guilty of it. And Jason's gotten to watch me do it through the years, and it's the fight every day. It's a fight every day for me. Not to feature dump, to seek first to understand, then be understood. And the cool part about that is whenever you're being understood, you get to just share the details that will help them, and you're understood how your product or service or thing will help them because you heard their problem. So you're not dumping the entire encyclopedia in their lap about what you're able to do. You're just dumping what's relevant to them. It's actually, guess what? It takes a lot less time out of you. It's a lot lighter. You don't have to pitch as much. It's the way to go.
I think, like you said, just asking good questions and then just shutting up and listen. Could be the simplest advice that I could give people. It's a game changer for sure. I think let's end up with this. good questions, right? So let's leave some people with some tactical stuff. There's some avoidance questions that start with why. You don't want to ask people why they're doing a certain thing, right? When you use why, it gets defensive. Think about it when you are, when you're growing up and your parents are asking you, why'd you do that? Why'd you do this? Right? You're like, I felt like it, or whatever. You know what I mean? So why should be out of your vocabulary right off the bat, right? And there's Chad showed me like a little triarchy of good questions to ask, such as what, how, when, right? So different phrasing for questions. You want to give some examples on, different phrasings?
Yeah,
Do
I
I have
think
to
I
put
think
on
if
the
you
whiteboard again?
like you said with the what, the how, the when, when you have those there, that helps prompt, that helps like training wheels into the right question. Um,
Mhm.
why is always like a setup for failure typically, and then
Why do
obviously
you
we
want
have
to
the
sell your house?
right, right,
What
as
has you
opposed
looking?
to
Yeah.
what made you consider, or what made you consider looking at the value of your house.
Yeah.
Just having the what helped me think through that. That's not one I've even directly used, but what did you think of the values you're seeing online, the automated value? What did you think of this estimate? Everybody's looked up their estimate, or 90%
Mhm.
have.
Yeah.
Even if they're like, so if they're interested in selling through your lead generation, through however you got them, just say, hey, I'm just curious, what do you think of the home value you're seeing online? I haven't looked any up. Oh, really? Well, would you like me to do one for you?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, Chad, we hit the magic mark in our podcast. We turned the big 4-0. We got SharkNation live down on the bottom ticker. You can check out our stuff there. Follow us on all the socials and all that kind of good stuff. We have our monthly mastermind coming up at the end of this month. Last Sunday at what, 7 o'clock? Are we doing it Easter time?
Yeah, it'll be September 1st this month. And I
Yeah.
just looked it up, so that'll come quick. So we don't have to wait for the month to kick. It'll be the first day of the month. So September 1st, 7 p.m. Anybody wants in, feel free to go to sharknationlive.com, join the Facebook group, and you'll get, or you join the mailing list, and you'll get our updates. And you can join us on a Google Meet where we can workshop what's working, what's not working for you in your business.
And we won't ask you why you're here.
But we'll get the why.
We'll find out. All right. Till
All
next
right.
time.
Till then, we'll see y'all.